Hello, my name is Jay Johnson.
And I'm Sarah Vaughn.
And we're here in beautiful Boulder, Colorado.
And we're going to show you some general strength exercises that I use in my training.
Folks, this is hard. This is not for the faint of heart, but it's a well thought out progression, okay? It's going to start easy. We're early in the summer, and as you progress through the summer in your running training, this stuff will get harder, but not overly hard, not unrealistically hard. Thanks for tuning in. All right, the pedestal routine is a really simple routine where you're just going to be in 4 different positions. This first one is the prone position. Prone is just stolen from the world of physical therapy, or it's just an anatomical way to basically say your belly button is facing the ground. And you can see there's a nice straight line from her shoulder all the way down to her ankle. What will happen for a lot of athletes is that their hips will dip, or their hips will get closer to the ground. Then the next position is simply a lateral position or a side position. And again, straight line from the shoulders down to the feet. Most athletes, again, their hips will tend to drop. So rather than a straight line, you'll see basically a curve to the body. We're just holding these positions for 20 seconds on each position. Supine is basically belly button towards the sky. And this one you'll really feel in your hamstring and your glutes. This is the most challenging of the 4 by far for most athletes. And again, their hips will tend to drop, or their butt will tend to drop towards the ground. Then finally we'll go back to that lateral position one more time. You can see there's a nice straight line. If anything, she's holding her hips high here. You can have your hand or your arm up in the air if you'd like. One thing I want you to notice, the back of your body is the posterior chain. Look at how her back muscles are working here. So that's the first set of the pedestal exercise. This is the Myrtle routine, and this is clams. Clams is a very simple exercise. You just make a 90-degree angle at your knee, and then you're going to open your knee and your legs as if you're a clam opening a shell. Okay? Roll over to the other side, do the same thing. This is an exercise that is appropriated from the world of physical therapy because runners tend to be weak in their glute, and that exercise helps it. Lateral leg raise. We're going to do 4 reps, and then we're going to have our toe oriented 3 ways. Neutral is the first one. This we would refer to as toe out, and then the next one we're going to refer to as toe in. Okay? So you actually end up doing a total of 12 repetitions on each side. Then you flip over to the other side, and same thing. You're going to do 4 reps with your toe neutral, 4 toe in, 4 toe out. The next exercise is called donkey kicks, and the first thing I want to point out is that your knee needs to be under your hips and your hands need to be under your shoulders. And for any of you that have ever done yoga, this is going to look very similar to the table pose, or that table position. There's some sort of dog position or something you do out of that. But anyway, that was donkey kicks. The next one, donkey whips, we're only going to do 5 reps of each donkey whip. But when you try this yourself, you'll see why this is very challenging. Again, it's this video makes it look very simple, and it is a simple exercise, but it is challenging in terms of your glute having to work hard. So after the donkey whips, we're going to go into a very simple progression here of fire hydrant. We're going to do 10. All you're trying to do is bring your knee up to the level of your hip. Most people can't do that. So this athlete is Sarah Vaughn. Her range of motion right there, that's about what you're going to see with most athletes, is you can't quite get it to the level of the hip. Then we're going to do knee circles forwards. And all you're doing here is improving and maximizing the range of motion in that hip joint. So you'll do 10 knee circles forward, and you just want to get a nice range of motion. Ideally, the knee does come close to the hip area, or close to the hip socket. And then knee circles, same thing, but you'll just do it backwards. So 10 forwards and then 10 backwards on each side. For most people, you're going to get pretty tired doing the 10 backwards, okay? Then you switch to the other leg and do the same thing. 10 forwards, and then you'll switch in the middle of that to 10 in the reverse direction, 10 backwards. Okay, the next thing that we need to do, we have a hurdle set up. You can use a wall, a fence, a railing. All you need is something to lean up against, something to support yourself, okay? And we're going to do a series of exercises. Now, this first one is called hurdle trail leg forward. But again, you don't need a hurdle to do this. You just need something to basically put your hands up to basically support yourself. All you're doing is trying to pretend that you are having your leg go over a hurdle and trying to clear that hurdle. Her foot and her knee technically could be a little higher, closer to her hip joint. But I mean, this is a challenging exercise. It looks very simple, but if you do 10 in the forward direction and 10 in the reverse direction, it's definitely challenging. Then what we're going to do here is a lateral leg swing. This is very simple. You're just swinging your leg. The thing I want you to note, look how quiet her shoulders and her neck and her head are, even though there's obviously a lot of movement in the hip. So you definitely want to keep your upper body quiet. Okay? Then the last one is going to be linear leg swing. You're going to do 10 with a straight leg, and that's a nice range of motion there that she's doing. Now with the straight leg, it's going to be a little bit slower than the next one, because what we'll do in the next one is simply a bent leg. So now when you bend that leg, you're shortening the lever just like you do in running, and that should be a little bit quicker. Okay, so there you have it. That is the Myrtle routine.